Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel, James13 Wicca. Also, I am doing in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. Google that if you want to, Herkimer, New York. If you're close to there, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll give you details. Also, if you're interested in getting a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? Ooh. Deep levels of intellect. Deep levels of intellect, which tells me a very complicated puzzle that is going to take some effort to get through it. Thing is, Gemini, in my opinion, Gemini is really good with mind puzzles. Really good at figuring things out. Oh, are these? No. There's something here. There we go. What is going on? Okay, things are in their timing. Other people are walking away. I don't think that's a bad thing for you. Something might be switching out. It could be a work situation. Could be a family situation where maybe just somebody's putting distance between themselves. It doesn't have to be like a divorce, but for example, maybe somebody's moving or somebody's changing their connection with the family as a whole for whatever reason. Okay, these four fell out. There's a lot of issues that have been going on around the situation. It doesn't mean that they have to be your problem. Okay. There's a lot of things going on around this situation. Again, I don't think it has to be your problem. The truth. Oh, do you already know the truth? Okay, so there's a mixed bag. It doesn't have to be a family situation. Could be a work. It's more than likely a larger social situation. Doesn't have to be that way for everybody. Could be just a couple, 2, 3 people, but for most of you, I feel like it's going to be a larger social situation. Doesn't have to be. Did you have something to do with this? I don't think you... I don't know. If you had something to do with this situation in the past, I don't feel like I knew what exactly was happening. I feel like I found out after the fact. Most of you, it's more about hearing what's going on and understanding what somebody else chose to do. Even though, okay, the Magician's coming in here with, I feel like there's people here that, some of them I like, some of them I don't. Some of them have my best interest at heart, some of them don't. I feel like I know this. I know the difference. I feel like you know the difference. It's not like I thought they were better towards me, but then they turned out to not be. It's not like that. It's kind of like, I know how they feel about me. I know how they treat me. Some people are good and look out for me. Other people are not and just don't really care what happened to me. And I feel like you know, whatever this is, family, friends, work, whatever it is, I feel like you know how this situation adds up. You're aware of it. The truth is right there for you. Whatever the situation is, you know how the truth adds up for you. What is this then? You got the 7 of Cups coming in, because it's kind of like, I know who's for me and I know who's not. I don't feel stress on that. I just feel like I know. And now I'm seeing changes going on, and I'm seeing some reformation, and I'm just like, all right, I know who's here for me and who's not, and certain people are distancing themselves. How is that going to affect me? But I feel like I don't want to get too close to it, but I'm kind of attached to the outcome. I keep getting that other people have problems that you don't have to be a part of if you don't want to be. I keep getting that. Something's happening here, and it's going to shake out the way it's going to shake out. There is a line being drawn in the sand. That feels very literal with this card, because when I looked at it, that's my first thought. A line being drawn in the sand or something. um, is that how they're trying to make? I don't know if they're trying to do that with this card or not, but this is a passing moment, which is strange to me. I feel like somebody's it's coming across like somebody's drawing a line in the sand. Like this is it. I've had enough. And it's kind of like, so it's almost like this person, I'm telling you, person, one more thing like this is my line in the sand and I'm done. And they're saying this is my boundary. But once they set their boundary, they're like, you know what, actually I'm just done, and they just leave. So it's kind of like somebody saying, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. If you do that one more time, this is what's going to happen. And then they pull back and they're like, you know what, I'm not waiting for that another time. I'm just done, and I'm just going to leave. That's how I feel like it's going to play out. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with that? Like, another analogy is like, say, you know, somebody stole money, and you're like, you steal money one more time, you're going to jail. And they're like, you know what, and second thought, just go to jail. Just go. I've changed my mind. I'm not giving you another chance. You're done. So it seems like there's going to be another chance, but there's not really. I feel like that's what's being said here. And other people are very upset with that, but like the person that's making the decision, I feel like they're re-looking at this and like, I'm being way too lenient. I've given this way too many chances already. This is clearly going to happen again. I'm going to shut it down. There's a lot of this, like, things not evolving. I feel like that's with this. Things are not evolving in this, whatever's going on around it. There's a lot of upset energy, a lot of devastation. There's a history with this and a lot of sadness and a lot of stress. So not a lot of change, a lot of depression, a lot of unhappiness, things not getting better. I don't think this is a new development that somebody's finally standing up for themselves. I feel like this is kind of like the last straw, kind of like maybe it's almost like saying we've had repercussions that just, you know, we do what we have to do. It's like sending somebody to jail every now and then. It's kind of like, no, now you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. That's an analogy, but I'm getting like, this is like becoming a thing. Now, your energy is trying to figure out, wait a minute, how did we all of a sudden get to this level? How did this all of a sudden make a big change? Like, we've been going left and right, back and forth, here and there, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're done. It doesn't seem like it makes sense to me. It seems like something is missing. I feel like there's a missing piece to the puzzle. Because somebody's completely giving up. They're like, I'm sick of putting the effort into this. I'm sick of putting in the work. It's not making any sense. I'm not going to do it anymore. And they feel like they have no choice. They feel like they literally have no choice. I've been a fool for this. I've gone on with this for too long. And they've decided to choose themselves. They're taking the hard choice, whatever that means. Whatever they're doing, it seems to be very hard for them. But they've had enough, and this is what they're going to do. They're like, I put up with this for too long. It's trying to make the difficult choice. It's trying to make the difficult move forward. It's awkward to me that it's all happening around you right now, but it might be, if this reading is hitting, it's maybe giving you a lot of stress or a lot of like, what's going to happen next. I don't feel like it has to be bad for you. I keep getting that over and over again. Whatever's going on here, I feel like we're trying to go backwards. Somebody's trying to go backwards with this. They might be able to get your sympathies a little bit on this. They're trying to go backwards. They're like, Gemini, oh my God, they made this decision. I can't have this. I want to go backwards. I want to go back in time. I want to redo it. I don't want that to happen. I want to go back. I want to go back. And I feel like they might even be coming to you in the sense of like, Gemini, you always find things that I can never find. How do I make this go backwards? You know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't. Certain things you can't go backwards on. You know, you just can't. So I don't know what to say about this, because like you could find angles and you could find possibilities to where you could have similar results but not the same. I don't know. It's almost like, you know, if somebody grew up a certain way, you can't take them back to their childhood and help them relive it a different way. You could try to simulate things and you could try to reenact certain possibilities, but you can't go through that whole experience. Like being a 7-year-old believing in certain, like believing Santa Claus is real, you can't go back and do that again. If you, like, I don't know how to explain that. You know, you're just not going to be able to do that again. You can have other similar, yeah, I don't know. So whatever this is, they're saying it's not really, you can't totally go back to it. They're saying I feel like you're sympathetic to this energy. You're going to want to try to find things that can maybe help them do different things. It's kind of like, well, that can't happen, but maybe I could find something else that could make this easier for you. Maybe there's something else I can do to assist you to get a different outcome that maybe you'll enjoy better. Can't have that one. You know what I mean? There's just certain things you can't. It's like, you know, when somebody passes away, you can't go back in time and make them come back. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to live that life you had with them once they've crossed over. Certain things you just can't go backwards with. And I feel like, all right, they can't do that, but maybe there's something else. Maybe there's a different way. Maybe there's something I can do to help them. I get that whatever's going on here, an option you can consider that might be more beneficial in the long run is just to step back, give yourself some space from this situation, and think it out and decide what really makes sense here. Because I feel like if I disconnect from what other people want, I disconnect from like how they're feeling, and I'm just like, just bare bones, what is this situation? What do I realistically think is going on here? And what do I think is realistically right? And that might not be the popular opinion. That's the thing. And I feel like if I'm stepping back, I'm realizing that this situation, it's done. The situation is done. And by trying to keep it alive with life support, I just feel like it doesn't make sense. I just feel like this isn't gonna, like, this is just dragging something out that is not healing. It's not making things better. We gotta let things go. It's an option to consider. I feel like once you go that direction, I feel like I have to hold back, and I have to just kind of like let more information come my way so I can think it out a little deeper. You will find other possibilities. It's not going to be where they want to go. Whoever this is, it's not going to be where they want to go, because I feel like going that direction is not healthy. I don't want to go there. I don't want to assist with that. I don't think that's right. Just being honest with yourself. This card is saying, you know, if you don't feel like that's the right thing to do, don't do it. Do what you think is right. Go with your heart. Because I'm getting, by you changing things up and just kind of going, all right, I know what they want, but that's not something I see happening. I feel like you're going to find other possibilities that are better, that are actually more productive. People are not going to like this. People are not going to like this, but I feel like you might be able to start conversations that people don't want to have. You might want to start those conversations at a distance and just let it kind of churn on its own. It just reminds me of like certain people, you got to throw out some information, you know, they're not going to like it, so you just kind of let it sit there. It might take a few months before they're really willing to move forward on it, or at least consider it. It might be one of those things, because I do get there's going to be adversity towards it, but you might be able to start things to create a new path. What does this say? To get to this level, we got to start conversations that people don't want to have. To open up this new path is forward. It says to get there, to get here, we got to start that. We got to start conversations that people don't want to have. You can do it at a distance. You might even have to do it through other people. Get other people who are maybe more sympathetic to it, give them ideas, show them where it could go, let them start those conversations. It might go off better. It depends on how you feel about that. Sooner or later, the situation will evolve in the more realistic version of what's supposed to happen. It may change very quickly all of a sudden. It may be like resistance, 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 and all of a sudden, all right, we're going this way. And all of a sudden the tension's completely gone. Is that realistic? Because I get that, like, once it starts going in the correct direction and people just go that way, I feel like we're ignoring the other part. Is that really how that's going? Am I getting that right? I feel like we may not be dealing with it. Yeah, people are getting along. They want to get along. They're just letting go. They're just letting go. And yeah, well, this one's here too. The Fool going forward. It's like resistance, 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 resistance. Okay, let's just go this way. Like they want to go this way, it's not working. Okay, let's just go that way. The Fool card comes in, the signs, roll with it. It feels like people just want to get over it. Like when they finally have to accept it, and it is what it is, then they don't want to talk about it, and they just go the other direction. There's probably something that has to be sorted out with that. It just may not be something that you need to deal with. It may be for somebody else to clean up. That's a very interesting change. Very interesting. I think it's fine. Okay. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.